Hey everybody, it is November 2nd, 2022. Canon just announced the R6 Mark II, and I am unsurprisingly very excited about this camera. It's probably a camera that I want to pick up, and this is coming from a Canon C70 user, a Canon C300 user. I actually do think this is one of the first really truly great hybrid mirrorless cameras that can do video really well. And I wanted to just share with you a few reasons why I think so. First of all, let's talk about the original R6 that was released in July of 2020, almost 2.5 years ago. Fantastic camera on paper, still a great camera in every respect, but we all know the narrative that it could not escape, that it was an overheating disaster. It wasn't reliable for any sort of professional work or even semi-professional work. And when YouTubers and just like, enthusiasts are complaining about this aspect of the camera, you know that there was poor design implementation. And we have to remember that the R5, R6 was really Canon's first full stride into like professional level hybrid mirrorless cameras. And now that we're in 2022, the expectation, and I think it's a good assumption, that Canon has learned a few lessons and they are now ready to get to the next level when it comes to how they want to implement their design philosophy when it comes to their hybrid mirrorless line. But the first thing that I'm really excited about is the brand new sensor that's in this R6 Mark II. Everyone thought it was the R3 sensor, the stacked backside illuminated sensor found in that $6,000 camera. That was high hopes. That was a lot of dreaming. The rumors turned out to be not true. This is a brand new sensor built from the ground up from Canon. It's 24.2 megapixels, which I think Canon is learning is the sweet spot when it comes to a camera that's meant to be both a photography camera as well as a camera for video. 24.2 megapixels still gives us really great images, lots of resolution, lots of detail on the photography side. But now with that extra megapixel increase from 20 to 24, we now get 4K 60p in a full readout. We get full frame 4K 60p, no crop, which is fantastic. Alongside that, we also now get fast enough readouts where the camera can now do 40 frames per second in that electronic shutter mode, which is absurd. The second thing that I'm really excited about is the dual pixel autofocus that's been implemented into this R6 Mark II. It seems to be one of Canon's latest renditions of the autofocus, and there's two things about it that I really want to highlight. First, it now allows us to have face only or face priority mode. And this is a feature that comes from Canon's Cinema line. And I think this is a great addition to the hybrid mirrorless line. Another feature about the autofocus that I really appreciate is now that it includes intelligent autofocusing for not just humans, for animals as well as vehicles, it now has an auto switch mode, meaning you don't have to go into the menu if you're in a situation where you're actually taking pictures of humans, animals, and cars and other vehicles. It will automatically switch and try to understand what you're going for, and I've heard that this works really well. Overall, there's deep learning built into the autofocus system, which should translate into greater reliability. Now, I've heard that it's more evident on the photography side, but on the video side, there's still some bugs and things that are being worked out. And so I'm looking forward to hearing about any firmware upgrades and bug fixes that might be coming down the pipeline very soon. The third thing that I am looking forward to is the tweaked control layout on the top part of the camera. You now have a dedicated dial for photo and video, and this was the major usability issue for me, is that when I'm switching from video to photo mode, I had to go into the menu and tweak all these settings. I'm shooting C-Log3 in video, and then I have to go into the menu and switch it off and select a color profile for photo, and it was just a hassle. I didn't like how that was not seamless. And so I'm hoping that this dial now gives me very, very quick and intuitive switching from photo to video and back. The other thing that it incorporates is a redesigned on and off switch. And I like it in theory, but my one gripe with the choice of having the lock switch in between the on and the off is strange to me. Mainly because on Canon's cinema line, like on the C70, it goes from off to on and then to lock. And to me, that's a better design because you're not always going to want to lock down your control settings, but you are going to go from off to on much more frequently. And so to have it in the middle, I haven't heard too much about how that might be an issue. I just know just from a standardization sort of viewpoint, it sort of annoys me that I have to remember that on the C70, the lock button is after the on button, and on the R6 Mark II, it's in between the off and on button. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is the false color tool that's now been added to the R6 Mark II. This is a tool that's primarily found on Canon's cinema line. And if you've only used Canon's hybrid mirrorless line or their DSLRs, you've never used false color. But I'm here to tell you that it is a fantastic exposure tool, very reliable. You get consistent results by using it. I think it's easier to see than zebras, and it's definitely better than waveforms. And so I really am glad that they've incorporated this professional tool, in my opinion, into the R6 Mark II. It's really exciting to see that Canon is willing to start implementing what has been exclusively pro features into their hybrid mirrorless line. This is why I'm saying Canon is now taking fuller strides and ready to sort of create cameras that can really compete and exceed what their competition is doing. On that note, the next thing that I'm really excited about is the fact that they have now added focus breathing correction. This is a direct response to Sony's focus breathing compensation. We have seen that work really, really well with the Sony GM lenses. And when you look at the list of lenses that it works now with, Canon has already had a great start of implementing their RF lenses into this tool, which is really great for video, to not have to see the frame move in and out and see that breathing effect when using certain Canon RF lenses. That is a fantastic cinema-like tool that will make your production and your images way better overall. Overall, when I think about the R6 Mark II and video specifically, I think it is a truly great hybrid camera. It's going to let you take amazing photos, but if you need video and it's the only camera that you have on you, it's also going to deliver great results. And I would say it's getting closer and closer to being a truly great professional level camera. I think the IBIS implementation, if they've changed that at all, is still a question mark. I think ultimately the dynamic range is something that I want to be able to test a little bit more. It only offers C-Log 3 still, but you do get 10-bit 422, which is great. I'm wondering about battery life, and I'm hoping that the better power efficiency in the R6 Mark II translates to more flexibility on how long it operates for video capturing. And I'm really keen to finding out how well it matches with the cameras that I already have, the C70 and the C300. So those are my thoughts as a video first user of Canon cameras. I am really excited about the R6 Mark II. It gets you thinking about what they're gonna do with the successor to the R5. What are your thoughts? What do you think is going to be the standout feature? What are still some of your concerns about the R6 Mark II moving forward? Or are you waiting for something even better? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.